So catching up to where we were on our last video, we were just finishing up getting the interior cabinets finished up. So here we got the refrigerator cabinet finished, so I got the electric cooler on top so I can use that, slide it in and out, close the door, lock it in place, and then we got room for the Yeti cooler down below. Also, we finished up the drawer cabinet for the sink. Got the room for the doors in there, all the self-closing hinges, got all that finished up. So nice to get this part of the project finished up so I can start moving on to some other things, and it was just a real nice finish on the cabinets. It's really going to look sharp. So here we are with the solar finally getting here. The weather's turning nice, the solar's here, and we'll be able to get all that over into the shop and start getting that worked out and organized.
That's a big battery. What is it for?
It's more than just a battery. There's a solar panel in there, and then some batteries, and then some breakers, and a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. So we got all the solar stuff unloaded from the crate. Got my solar panel sitting over there. Nice big sucker. I'm just going to go with one panel at this time instead of the three smaller ones. From the research I did, I get better photovoltaic energy from this one versus some of the other ones. Got my batteries and my chargers. So I'm getting ready for this phase of it. So this is pretty exciting. The last time I did solar was at our house up in Idaho Springs, which happens to be in Colorado, west of Denver, right up I-70 there. But at that time, back in the 90s, yeah, it was kind of rare to do solar. So we bought a house up in the canyon off the grid, but it was right next to national forest land. So we had all the acreage in the world. We had a great view of the Continental Divide. So it was a new challenge for me to build a house off the grid with total solar, and I had a backup generator. But at that time, it was really hard to find all the stuff you needed for solar. So we needed to try to find appliances that didn't draw energy all the time. They call those phantom draws. And so you didn't want stereos that have lights going on all the time. You didn't want stoves that have lights and numbers and clocks on them. Same with refrigerators. So it was quite a challenge to buy that stuff. And they didn't have near the battery technology that they do now. So the batteries are so much better, store so much more. I think we had like 40 batteries up there, and then we had a backup generator that would automatically come on if there was not enough juice in the batteries. So I had a pretty nice setup. But this is a lot of newer technology, and I'm really excited to get this stuff going. So everything about building that house up in Idaho Springs was unique to me. It was the first time I built a house that I had to literally dynamite the foundation out of the granite because it was on the side of a mountain. And it was literally putting in dynamite to blow that out of there. My family and I lived in a trailer through the winter. I think it was about almost 6 months through the middle of the winter, and they were just the best troopers through it all. You know, the cold, the wind, living in the trailer, using the outhouse, working on the house all the time, and working a full-time job too. But it was not only a challenge, but everything was unique. All the outlets in the house were switched, so you didn't have anything on drawing power all the time. The solar panels themselves, got them out of Boulder, and just trying to find the right place up in the mountains to catch the most of the amount of sun that I could, because like I said there, I had one big mountain on this side, so we had to catch the sun when it came up. So this is nice, just being able to get the panel on top of the van, being able to work with it, having so much more technology, and the inverters now. So having to get almost as much battery power in a couple batteries as I did in 30 is really nice. And it's so nice to get all this stuff on site so I can start figuring it out. So my wife and I just got back from a trip to San Francisco. She was teaching a workshop up there, and it was nice to get a break from the weather. Oddly enough, the weather started turning nice here, so the weather here in Minneapolis was as warm as it was in San Francisco when we were there. But I did manage to get a couple rounds of golf in. That was great. And visit with my friend Nancy, who I haven't seen forever. And it just so happens that her and her partner are sucked into the van life craze also. They just went and bought themselves a Mercedes stretched extended cab, and they're in the process of having their van built out for them. So we have a lot to talk about everybody online, everybody that's doing the van build, the different systems on board. So it's nice to share that with somebody, and that was a lot of fun getting that visit out there. So maybe she'll take a look at some of these videos and follow along and see how we're coming along on this process. So we'll just keep chugging away here and recording as we go. My next project here is to start fitting all this stuff. Most of it's going to go under the bench. I've got another little cabinet to go for where it's going to go, and then deciding where all my gauges are going to go, where they're convenient and well placed, and where they look perfect in there. So here we go. Goes up in here. I've cut holes in there so these can all breathe, because they've all got vents on the back of them, and that way we'll be able to get some nice airflow, and we've got nice bolts on the back so we can take them on and off when we need to. So this will be a nice placement here. So the solar electrical wiring is moving along. I got a few more pieces on order, still trying to figure it all out. But in the meantime, I got a call from the Ford dealership. The van is in, woohoo! So we're going to kind of switch gears again, and I got to put some of this stuff on the back burner, get the van down here, and I've got a lot of work coming up, so I got to address that too. So we'll continue with that and go from there. So exciting day for us. We're just getting ready to leave to go up to Anderson Ford in North Branch and pick up the transit van, bring that home and get to work on it. All right, time to come pick up a vehicle. I'll be around here somewhere. Go sign the paperwork. On our way home with the van. And let's talk about the van for a second. I had a lot of reservations about which van to get, which van not to get, the goods, the bads, all that stuff. And I ruled out the ProMaster van. I didn't really care for the boxy look of it, and the axle on the back, it's front wheel drive, and I just didn't care for the look of it more than anything. And I wanted to try to find something that was four-wheel drive, and I didn't want a four-wheel drive truck, and I didn't want to make a four-wheel drive van on top of a four-wheel drive chassis, because usually that puts them up another foot in the air, and these things are already tall enough the way it is, and with the wind and things like that, I didn't want the van any taller. And so I found that Ford came out with the all-wheel drive, to where, you know, it's on a lower frame setting on an all-wheel drive, and I just could not imagine not having four-wheel drive, especially in Minnesota. but it makes all the difference in the world just to have that sort of traction available. A couple of other reasons I decided to go with the Ford was the motor package. I've had diesels before. I had a Dodge diesel Cummins truck, and I know Mercedes has got a nice diesel, but here's the thing with the diesel. I got a little disenchanted with it when back during the first Gulf War, I can't even remember when that was, diesel prices went from about 10 cents less a gallon to about 10 or 20 cents more per gallon than regular fuel. And after that, that didn't sit well with me, and the fact that anytime you need a diesel repair, it's pricey. So didn't want to go with a diesel, and Ford has a EcoBoost 6-cylinder turbocharged, which is quite peppy and a lot of horsepower. Also, the main factor for me to go with a Ford is I can go anywhere in the US and find a Ford dealership. And I know Mercedes makes a fantastic vehicle and nothing like it, but some of these little towns and some of these places you go, if you need to get parts and service, it might be a little harder to get. So I just decided to go with the Ford, and I love it. It's got everything I wanted it. It's got the all-wheel drive. It's got a turbo boost V6 engine in it. It's just it's got the service package that I want everywhere, and I had a lot of options, and it had an RV package for it, which comes with factory swivel seats, which means if you end up doing the swivel seats after the factory, the seats actually set up a little higher, and it kind of messes up everything. So this year in 2021, Ford came out with an RV package that has a lot of the upgrades that I wanted for this van build. So it worked out really nice, and I've got a whole list of options that when I get ready to sell it, I'll put up on the website. So people will be able to see everything I've got there. But I'm really happy with it, and it's a really windy day right here in Minnesota, and I'm driving home right now, and it feels pretty stable on the road. It's amazingly quiet. Even though it's empty, it's still amazingly quiet. So I'm super happy. Okay. Finally got her home, and now we get a chance to get to work. First order of business is getting all my cut-ins done. Got a window to get in on the other side. Man, that's a good looking van. Got the window to get in on the other side. Got an air conditioner and a roof vent to get in. And once I get all the cut-ins done, I can see where the wiring is going to start. I've got to see just how big my solar panel is going to be up there, to where I can see the exact position of the fan and the air conditioner. But I won't be able to get started for a while because I've got 2 bathroom remodels I'm in the middle of, and I got to get them going. And now I'm just chomping at the bit to get going on the van. But it'll be here, and we'll get going on it.